rise and shine. Grab your coffee cup, come spend some time. I know it's early, the start of a new day. No need to worry, it's Lolcow Cafe. Rise and shine, baby, wake and bake. Clear out your mind, baby, just take a break. Lolcow, Lolcow Cafe. Chill out with us today.
Good morning, Lolcow Live Universe. This is Ken. As you all know, this is Lolcow Cafe. The coolest, the calmest, and the chillest show in the entire universe. Hope everyone's having a great morning so far. Hopefully you got your cup of coffee ready to go. So my camera is trying to focus crazy right now, so sorry guys, this is my second day with it. It is a lot better than my old one, so I'm gonna try and get that figured out. I do apologize in advance, but I think we'll be good to go. As you guys know, I have my lovely co-host with me, the chillest of beans, Mrs. Beans. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm doing good. Good afternoon, morning, or night. I'm sorry, I need more coffee for everybody out there. This is Beans giving your daily dose of beans, if you know what I'm saying. Let's get started, shall we?
Beans bringing the fire this morning. I love it. I love it. That is awesome. So before we get started, I have to issue an apology to Miss Beans. So as I was re-listening to the show, remember when Becky was royally messing up? I said, this is the Beans that we all know. I meant to say queens that we all know. When she had the muted mic, the sound issues and all that. So I apologize. I meant to say the queens we all know. So from my heart, I am sorry.
Hey, I didn't notice it, so it's all good.
Yeah, I know the chat's going to go crazy on Miss Becky right now, but we're going to let that slide for a little bit. I know Keem said he was going to make his decision this morning on what to do, so maybe he'll pop into Cafe and let us know. But before we get going, Miss Beans, do we have the Cafe Bustelo and the coconut creamer this morning?
Of course. So I do have the Café Bustelo and the coconut creamer, and I do have my Judy Hopps Hop to It little cup. I did want to ask the people out there who use a greca, which is usually what Hispanics use to make coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wash your greca, and how often? Because what I've noticed is a lot of people don't wash it as often as they should. We kind of treat it as like a cast iron skillet and let it season with coffee taste. So I just thought that was an interesting topic to bring up.
That is. So I have my my Cuban coffee maker that I use.
Mhm.
Queen J, welcome to Ban World. We appreciate you, Queen J. Thank you. So I have my Cuban coffee maker, and I rinse it out thoroughly. I don't get the soap in the brush and spin it. I don't do all that, right? But I do give it a nice little rinse. I'm actually kind of, I guess they would say, autistic when it comes to something. I call it OCD. What I do is whenever I make a pot of coffee, I have to rinse it out 5 times before I put new water in the reservoir, because I don't want coffee water in the reservoir. If you know what I'm saying. Super weird, I know, but some people just don't care about coffee reservoirs.
That makes sense. My weird thing is that I get really picky. I used to be a very big germaphobe when I was a kid, which
Mhm.
kind of doesn't make sense because I do have a biology degree. I have to work with bacteria all the time. Um, but my thing is I have to rinse my cup thoroughly before I put anything in it. and it drives Grim crazy because like he'll give me a spoon at his house and I have to like inspect it and be like, there's a spot, can you please rinse it off? Or he'll give me a cup and I'm like, this is not as clean as I would prefer it to be, but it's fine, just so he doesn't get mad.
That's beautiful. Yeah. No, I get it. You know, everybody has their phobias and their cleanliness levels that they want and all that. I totally get it. But, you know, I just rinse it out and do it. You know, why not? Something we used to do in the Army whenever we would make pots of coffee. When we made like the next pot of coffee, we would leave the already used grounds in it and just dump new grounds on it, you know, just to help save coffee. That's the trick we used to do.
That's true. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I have a little buddy right here. He has no name yet, so if you have a name, you can recommend one.
Ooh,
Yeah, I just thought it was nice to have like a little buddy just sitting here. I could give him a little boop or something every once in a while.
that's
I
beautiful.
do have this, yeah, I do have the second camera over here, but I thought that this camera kind of gives more ambiance and shows a little less room. I know a lot of people were complaining about the room atmosphere, while some people kind of like the coziness of it.
You know what I learned, Beans? Not everybody's going to be happy, right? So do what makes you feel beautiful, and that's really all that matters. So before we get into the Daily Espresso, I have a little thing called Joe Coffee. Joe Coffee sells in like your TJ Maxx's, your Marshalls, your Home Goods. It's actually really good coffee, believe it or not. They sell it in ground, then they also sell it in K cups. But if you're ever in there, you see the 6-pack, or I'm sorry, the 12-pack for $6, or the 24-pack for $12. Make sure you guys check that out. It actually is really good coffee.
I got a question for you, Ken.
Yes, ma'am.
Does Joe Mama like Joe coffee?
All the Joes enjoy that Joe coffee. We're going to leave it at that, Miss Beans.
So let's continue on with the Daily Espresso. So we're going to, of course, start with the famous Big Bear Eagles, Jackie and Shadow. Today is February 6th, 2025, and we have 27 days left until Hatch Day. Let's pull that up.
Yeah. I still can't get over like the scenery in the background. It is just so beautiful. You know, the way they just have this camera set up, you can literally just see it all. It's amazing. It's super gorgeous.
Lovely.
I know what I usually do to help fall asleep, me and my wife do it anyway, is we'll play like YouTube videos where it's like rain sounds and you got like fireplaces in the background. Sometimes you get like snowfall with that. They have like you're in a cave with rainfall and fire, you know, it's different taste, right? So it's kind of cool to just go to sleep to, then kind of wake up to it. Nice little ambiance, as they say.
I mean, it's really cute and cozy. One thing I do have to say about these eggs is if they don't hatch soon, I swear Jackie and Shadow are going to start charging rent, or at least I would.
100%. I would too.
We're going to move on to some fan art. We actually got some fan art yesterday, if you'd like to pull that up.
Yes, ma'am.
Mister.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think they drew this while they were watching Lolcow Cafe, I'm pretty sure, because it has the same like striped shirt that I had yesterday.
Yep.
Um,
And has my suit on that I had yesterday.
I think it's so cute. I
This
love
is
fan
legit.
art.
This is definitely legit. Oh, you stupid ad. Yeah. So whoever did this, thank you. I don't know. D66
Um,
DLE. I'm sorry.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So
I just call him Doodle because it just makes sense. Little doodling all the time.
that's my boomer brain. I can't put like numbers to letters and like be creative because I have zero creative bone in my body. Beans. I don't know if you know that about me, but I have zero creative bone in my body. So that's why we have a beautiful docket team that, you know, does it for me. Thank you, docket team. We love you guys.
Speaking of our docket team, I like to think that imitation is the greatest form of flattery. If you watched Lolcow live yesterday, they did go over a lot of topics that we went over and used kind of the same clips. So I do believe that our docket team is so good, they're being imitated.
Ooh, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. The great Keemstar is using our docket team's clips. Nah, everybody's beautiful. We appreciate everyone here. Why is my camera doing that? Sorry. Continue, Miss
You're
B.
so beautiful, it doesn't want to focus too much. So next we're going to move on to the daily horoscope for February 6th. If you were born this day, you are a peace-loving person who is sincerely concerned for others. You have I can't think right now.
Intuitive.
Yeah. You have an intuitive and even psychic side, and you tend to radiate a calm and appealing manner that readily attracts others. In fact, you are generally considered extremely attractive, no matter what you look like, as you emanate a warmth that is hard to resist. Ooh. You have solid principles and values, but you can also be quite indulgent, although usually unapologetically so. Love and family mean the world to you.
Aw, that is so beautiful, Beans. Where's my beautiful count? I think I'm down to like 10 already, and it's like, 12 minutes into the show. I
I guess
wanted
this morning is a very beautiful morning for you, Ken.
like no BS. This is like my fifth cup of coffee in like an hour. So we are pumping with oil and pumping with gasoline, Beans. We're gonna make this happen. I wanted to give video games a shout out. There's a million ways to be creative, and you, sir, are creative. Thank you for the love. What is? Oh, it's a I don't know. Video games. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, Mr. Brandon. Video games has been around a very long time, helping out everyone, and he is a genius, and he is creative. Slicky the Gecko, welcome to Cash Cow. Thank you, Slicky. Slicky is my man crush in the Discord, if you guys don't know. So, all you men back up. You got to go through Slicky the Gecko.
Really, it's not Grimm, because it seems like every man in the LCU have eyes for Grimm nowadays, especially Boogie.
Well, I'm jealous of the beard Grim has. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
He loves that beard so much.
Oh, it's
Somebody even
beautiful.
offered to pay him $5,000 to shave it off. Can you believe it? And he still said no.
Really?
Hmm.
Grim, the forever loyal to the beard. That's beautiful, though. That is beautiful.
I
GG's
bet he's
Grim on
gonna
that
marry
one.
that beard. He's gonna marry that beard sooner than he's going to marry me at this point.
Yeah, you see like a little ring like right here on the beers.
He like braids it in, you know.
That'd be beautiful.
Okay, we're gonna move on to this day in history, February 6th. So in this day in history, in 1935, the board game Monopoly is first sold. On February 5th, in 1935, Parker Brothers officially sold Monopoly for the first time, turning it into one of the world's most iconic board games, and turning it into the number one reason why families hate each other.
That is beautiful, though. Epic Brady with the 199. I only have eyes for Mono in the Discord. Mono the GOAT, as always. Somebody ban that dude, please. I think we're the only show that hadn't banned him yet, so we need to pick up that mantle. Somebody ban Mono. Mods, get on it. Nah, Mono's a G, though. I love that guy.
Mhm. I will say that Grimm never play Monopoly with him. He takes it a little too seriously.
Really?
That is the one game I will not play with Grimm and
So
Cuphead.
we used to do like board games like all the time, buy different ones, and then they had a Monopoly Cheaters edition that was just chaos. And oh man, that was a great game. You should check that out though. The Cheaters edition where you could do heists and like try and like take people's money, and if it took them so long to figure it out, you got to keep it and all that. I'm telling you, bro, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I know a lot of people have different rules for playing Monopoly nowadays. Because I started playing with some friends of mine when I was younger, and they had like the pot or something, and they
Yeah.
would put like all the money in the middle
Yeah.
because and once you like land on I think it was like the free space or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Free parking.
free parking. You got it. Yep. Because the way
Yeah.
we used to do it is when you pass go, you put your $200 in the middle, and then everyone would do that. And then whenever like a sale of like a property happened, you would take so much of that and put it in the middle as well. Nobody
It's pretty interesting.
with the 10. Also on this day in history, Grant captures Fort Henry, Tennessee. Fort Henry in Tennessee on the way to Fort Donaldson and Immortality.
Hmm, very interesting. That was actually not in the docket. Maybe nobody should be part of our docket team as well.
Military history is beautiful.
So next in this day in history, we have 1945. It's Bob Marley's birthday. Legendary Jamaican
legend.
reggae artist was born.
The legend, man. That dude, he was a pioneer in music. I mean, the way he spoke to people through it without even knowing somebody, just the mood he gave. And I guess a lot of his music too was about like freedom and people just living in harmony. It was a beautiful thing.
Oh. I remember last year for my birthday, Grim and I were going to watch a movie, and I actually had a very hard decision to make between the Bob Marley movie, which I really wanted to watch, or The Color Purple. And obviously, I went with The Color Purple because I'm a lover of all musicals, and it was fantastic. And then a really weird thing happened. I had to call my internet provider like the next day for an issue that I had with like a coupon or something. And then I just started having this conversation with this lovely lady on the phone, and we started talking about, oh, like, what movies did you see this weekend? And I said The Color Purple. And she's like, oh, really? I really wanted to see that, but instead I chose the Bob Marley movie. She wasn't too convinced by the movie, but I'm glad that we had that lovely conversation.
Definitely. ETA69 in chat says, what do you two think of the movie industry continuing to release remakes and superhero movies? Personally, I hate superhero movies. I'm just not a fan. This is how petty I am, Beans, okay? So when phase 1 of the MCU came out or whatever, the first one I watched was Black Panther, right? The second one I watched was, what's that, Infinity War? The first question I had was, where in the hell is Tobey Maguire? You know, because it was Tom Holland. And I was like, what the hell happened? And then I learned that, and then when I saw the Hulk, I was like, where the hell is Edward Norton Jr. at? And then I just lost interest. I hate when series of movies like change actors. I hate that because to me, you're killing the actor's flow that he had with the rest of the movies, and that chemistry is gone. Now, granted, people could argue all day long, yeah, if you're an actor, you should be able to do all this, that, and the third. I personally hate it. So what I did was, you know, with my wife's family, all of them are like comic nerds, anime nerds, and all that. They love it, right? That's fine. That's their thing. So just to cut my nose off to spite my face, I watched all 15 movies in less than a month. All 15, jam-packed them, right? And then I came to them and I said, this was a waste of time. This is so dumb. Why did y'all watch these? Then they were like, well, if you had to pick a favorite movie, what would your favorite movie be? I said, if I had to pick one, it would be Captain America and Winter Soldier. That, if I had to pick a favorite. So, Fox Street with the 20. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Fox Street. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Thank you.
To the little hand heart that they put.
But yeah, so there it is. I'm a Tarantino guy. I think he's the greatest director to ever walk the face of this earth. His movies are just transcendent, and they have done so much for cinema. The other thing is, it's original thought. You know, like obviously he watches other movies to get ideas, but with like superhero movies, the comic book is there. The script is already written. You just got to find somebody to say the words. That's lazy as hell, in my opinion. And it's a cash grab, I think. But that's just me.
Yeah, so with that, I do like superhero movies, but I feel like it's been a little bit more played out than I would like.
Yeah.
And I don't like that whole aspect of Marvel where it's like, even though like the movies come out, you know, in the certain order that it does, you have to like actually, this movie is actually before this movie, and then this movie is actually after this one, and that's the part that I find confusing. But when it comes to like remakes, sometimes they do it right the first time, right?
Yeah.
And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I like to say. Um, I really, 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 really don't look forward to the Snow White remake that they're going to come out with.
Yeah. I
I'm
have,
just gonna leave it there.
I'll be honest, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just gonna be flat out honest. I'm sorry, but all movies should be left alone. Some are just beautiful the way they are. Like with Rambo, when they came out with the random like Rambo 6, like 80 years later, no one wants to watch an old Sylvester Stallone at 50 cal. You know what I mean? Like, and then you had like the Terminators. Every Terminator after Terminator 2 is just trash. It's just pure trash. They got away from the original plot. Justin Masters with the 10. DiCaprio needed a gosh darn Oscar for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I do agree with you. He did a great job. Although I did like Mr. Candy a little bit better than him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But
Oh, we do have a comment in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, get a cash cow membership or higher to be able to get in. We have a comment from Priceless One. I'm kind of loving the LCC combo, I think they're trying to say. I'm drinking coffee and enjoying conversation between Ken and Beans. I really appreciate that, Priceless One.
thank you, Prices. That's beautiful. Thank you.
So in 1952, Queen Elizabeth II ascends to the throne. After the death of her father, King George, Elizabeth II became Queen of the United Kingdom.
Interesting. The funny thing about the royal family is if you like break down the lineage, just like the keep it in the family, royal blood needs to stay pure mindset. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I think you know what I'm saying, Beans. It's actually fascinating just how weird it got that they were trying to keep it pure. Because the Whitaker family, they have dudes that broke down the Whitaker family's like bloodline and showed just how pure they were. And they also did like royal families from different countries just to show the parallel. It's interesting. Just the thought.
Funny. Oh, sorry. Continue.
Just the thought of being back then in the mindset of, hey, you and your first cousin or you and your sister. I just like, ugh, weird.
I was just going to say that it's funny how you say pure while they're really like tainting their bloodline.
Oh, yes.
Literally,
Oh, yes.
because there's a lot of people in the royal family who have like blood illnesses. I forgotten the name of what it is. Constant bleeding. Oh, I'm doing the thing that you hate. I'm sorry. I'm typing and I'm like.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah. So Demi said pure bloodline family trees are a wreath. I agree. It's a nice little circle of trust that they have going with the family.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
So
man.
they might have hemophilia and von Willebrand disease, which
Mhm.
means that their blood lacks the clotting factors that it needs. So that's why usually they're so sheltered. It's because they're royalty, but also because of these illnesses that they have.
Yeah.
If you have a cut, it's almost impossible to stop the bleeding.
Donut Lord with the one gifted member. Thank you. Anti-socialite, please make sure to thank Donut Lord for that gifted member. We appreciate you. Thank you for the support, sir.
So next we're going to go into Valentine Day countdown. So February 14th is now 8 days away. We're almost at a week. Some more Valentine Day ideas for you fellas and ladies out there. So you can have Cinema Day. And actually, they just put here Captain America Brave New World releases on Valentine's if you want to go see that.
Slicky the Gecko with the gifted member. Mr. 77, you better think that, man. Thank you, Slicky. We appreciate you, sir.
Mm-hmm. You can have a stargazing night. Remember that there is a lineage, that's the wrong word. The planets are aligning, so that would be very cool to see.
Yep.
I don't think that it happens very, very often. Next, you can take a couples cooking class at home. I think that would be a good one for you, Ken, because you are very talented when it comes to your cooking abilities.
You know what's actually funny about that? So my buddy, him and his wife, they got like a little like a date night suggestion thing that they do. It's just like random cards that you take out of a box and whatever it says you do. One of the cards was cook a meal together, but act like the opposite person. So, when he told me about how that worked and I told my wife about it, she's like, I will kill you if I have to act like you and you act like me. She's like, I will kill you. I'm like,
That sounds like a lovely marriage.
that's why I do the cooking, baby.
That's true. Another thing that they put here is plant a tree together. Symbolize your growing love by planting a tree or a garden together. You can always look back at it and watch it grow, just like your relationship.
Aw, that's
You're
adorable.
really cute. Mm-hmm.
That's adorable.
Something that Grimm has always said to me, which I think is very adorable, is he talks about whenever we have children, whenever a child is born, he wants to plant a tree, specifically a sakura tree or a cherry blossom, which would not be feasible here in Florida, I think. It's very hard with the climate. But yeah, he always said that he wanted to plant a tree whenever we have a child that's born, just so the tree can grow with our children. And I think that's very sweet, especially if we do own a home and this can be the family home and we can be like, hey, this is your tree.
That is actually pretty cool. I like that idea. There's actually, not trying to get morbid, but there's actually some people that whenever they pass away, they have a Jesus, they plant a tree with them as like part of like compost to help start the tree. Some people started doing that for whatever reason, but some people like that idea. It's like the next generation is like, hey, this tree is the grave of your great great grandfather or something, something to that effect. I mean, again, I get it, but it's a little morbid for me.
I used to like the idea before I thought I don't trust a lot of these corporations and things of that nature. I feel
Yeah.
like I'll plant a tree and then all of a sudden people are getting greedy or the earth is running out of resources and they're like, well, we have to cut down the beans tree right now.
Oh yeah, that'd be terrible.
So, brood for your brain, useless facts, my favorite section. Did you know that kangaroos can't walk backwards?
Interesting. I see Rastoff in chat. Rastoff, chime in on that, sir. Have you ever seen a kangaroo go backwards?
Due to their large tails and powerful hind legs, kangaroos are physically unable to walk backwards, which is part of why they're a symbol of forward momentum in Australia.
I get that. It's pretty awesome, actually.
Apparently, you can't hum you can't hum while holding your nose. When you hum, air needs to pass through your nose to create the sound. If your nostrils are blocked, you can't produce a hum, making it a fun challenge to try.
Rastoff says, not a clue. Thank you for being the patriot that you are of New Zealand. We appreciate you, Rastoff.
He said, not a clue, and then he said, I believe you, though. Ken, you should know that all of us hosts don't go outside and touch grass. If we don't see it in a video game, we don't know.
Grass.
Okay, so it rains diamonds on Saturn and Jupiter. Both Saturn and Jupiter experience intense pressure in their atmospheres, which turn carbon into diamonds that fall like rain.
That is something. Imagine if we were able to like harvest that somehow for like engagement rings. Babe, I got you a universal rock. All natural.
I'm sure they're trying to get there somehow, some way. Corporations and all.
Oh, 100%. The greed of corporations is beautiful.
So butterflies taste with their feet. Butterflies have taste sensors on their feet, allowing them to taste a plant by landing on it to see if it's suitable for laying eggs.
Wow. Just like some cats smell with their mouth, like if they're just sitting there with their mouth open, they're actually like gaining the scent of it. It's like a more thorough way than just the nose. So it's just interesting how, living creatures, have different senses that humans do, but just a different way of doing it. It's pretty cool if you think about it.
Pretty cool. Would you like to take over I Can't with Ken?
I can't with Ken. when you try and grab a piece of paper off the ground, but it's too thin to get your fingers under it, so you just keep clawing at it till it gets wrinkled. Like, bro, I've done this so many times. And you know what a fast fail-safe for that is, Beans? You take, like, the paper, and you try to, like, bring it together so it creates, like, a little fold, and you can pick it up. Bro, one time, this is no BS. I went inside the junk drawer, and there was a pair of tweezers. I literally used the tweezers to grab the paper because I got, like, sausage fingers, so it's hard for me to, pick. So that was interesting. And then when someone says they need to tell you something or implies that they have a great story, then they say, "Oh, never mind," or "I can't, I promise not to tell." Bro, I love my wife dearly, but she'll look at me and be like, "How much do you love me?" And I'm like, "Babe, you know how much I love you." She's like, "No, really, how much?" I'm like, "An infinite amount." She's like, "Enough to go downstairs?" I'm like, "Of course. What do you need from downstairs?" And she's like, "Oh, never mind." I'm like, "Really? All that build up Beans, just to say, never mind." That's the thing. Or like, "Can you do me a favor?" "Yeah, what's up?" "Oh, never mind." Like, bro, what's the point? What is the point? If
On your toes, Ken.
If you're going to ask me how much I love you and then say, "Never mind," just ask me how much I love you and then leave it alone. Don't say "never mind," because it kind of slights me a little bit. I'm like, ooh, I'm not good enough. My love for you is not good enough to do a favor for you. What are we doing? Sorry. I digress. Sorry,
Ken
chat.
is getting a little
Chat. I
heated.
digress. I love my wife, and if she's watching, baby, I love you so much.
You're gonna get a talking to later. Going back to the first point you made about the paper off the ground, Rostov said, "Just lick your finger, easy." That's what I do. Usually, I just go, but you get the paper off the ground. But this last one, I started smiling a little bit because I'm very guilty when it comes to this. Sometimes I talk to Grim. He obviously has some sort of hearing damage. If you watch Test, he's very loud, and whenever he wears headphones, he has it blasting in his ears. I'm a very soft-spoken individual, so sometimes I'll talk to him, and I'm talking in what he likes to call cockroach talk. And I'll say something, he doesn't hear a word, and then he's like, "Just repeat it," and I'm like, "Oh, never mind." It pisses him off so much.
That's something. Really quick, Slicky the Gecko with the Australian too worked with Ruse. They can't go B-word like a tiank. Thank you, Slicky the Gecko. We appreciate you. As always.
Speaking of tinks, would you like to go over the tink fact of the day?
The tiank fact of the day, a series of experiments by the British Landship Committee led to the construction of the first tiank prototype, which debuted in September of 1915, was called a Little Willie. I can't. A second model called the Big Willie quickly followed, designed to cross wide trenches. It was accepted by the British Army, which ordered 100 tianks of this type, ultimately called the Mark I in February of 1916. So, tiank facts for the day by Ken. It's a great day.
I like how we kind of did that there. We did the kangaroo, and then we went to the tank, and then I was like, tank fact right in there.
Ooh.
So next we're going to go into some world news. In American news, Japan airline plane impales tail of Delta plane at SeaTac Airport.
Bro.
What is with these planes?
I was going to say these planes, bro. It is wild. So good old drama alert, always on the case. Let's play it. Oh, my wife's in the chat. Hate repeating myself, but also have hearing problems. I love you, baby. Okay, that's good. Let's do it. Bro, that's while taxiing on the runway. That's the best part. I don't get
So,
that.
thankfully, no injuries were reported. The Port of Seattle said the incident had minimal impact on the airport operations.
That's
Sorry, there was somebody in the chat and the little blip was like over the word, so I couldn't see it.
oh no, you're good.
Operations since it happened on a taxi line. So who's starting to develop a phobia of flying? Because I sure am. If we're
I'm
going to
starting
fat
to.
camp, I'm driving.
I'm starting to develop a phobia of flying because, I mean, granted, been a lot of places, done a lot of things. But yeah, this flying thing, because we're talking like 3, almost 4 incidents in like 2 or 3 weeks. That is unheard of. That is literally unheard of in, airlines and all that. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Like it's hard for me to drive in cars for so long because of my neck and my back issues. Every like 4 or 5 hours I have to get out and like walk around and stretch and all that. So it can add a little bit of
Mhm.
time to the trip. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
So next up, the CIA offers buyouts amid government downsizing efforts. So the CIA has offered voluntary buyouts to its entire workforce as part of President Trump's push to downsize government agencies. Employees have until February 6th, with it today. Today they have until today to accept the offer, which includes about 8 months' salary and benefits in exchange for resigning. I think we kind of touched upon this yesterday.
Yep.
There are also concerns about the loss of experienced staff and overall impact of government efficiency.
Yeah. Again, with the incumbent presidents wanting to like clear out their own people and wanting a new staff, something like the CIA, that's something you need to just kind of leave alone because they have a very important job in keeping our country safe. So just to say, nah, we're good, like, I don't know, man. That's a bold move. It's a really bold move.
So next up, the U.S. military plane deporting over 100 illegal Indian immigrants lands in India. So in summary, a U.S. military plane carrying over 100 Indian nationals who were in the U.S. illegally has landed in India as part of an ongoing deportation effort. The deportees were reportedly detained for immigration violations and I can't read that word. Docket team, stop putting such complicated words. Under the U.S. immigration enforcement policies. The flight, which have arrived in India on Tuesday, is part of a broader crackdown on illegal immigration, particularly those who enter the U.S. via the southern border.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's just one of those things. Trump said that they ain't doing it no more. So he's getting the illegals out no matter where they're from. So I mean, I know people when they think of illegal immigrants, they think of, our southern ladies and gentlemen, but it's not just that. You can't just group everybody into one group and say, "Oh, you're an illegal immigrant, you must be this." Like it's not just, the southern border people, it's others. So let's calm down a little bit, guys. Let's calm down a little bit.
So the interesting thing, I guess I was very best word to say is naive or ignorant. My mom has a business where she sends boxes to Latin American countries or the Caribbean.
Yep.
And we also have a lady there that sends boxes to Cuba. And she came here through the southern border. And I didn't know that it's not only Mexican people who go through the southern border. It's like everybody.
Oh yeah.
So there's a vast array of people that are coming through the southern border, which to me was just like my brain couldn't comprehend for some reason. So
Yeah.
that was just an interesting thing to learn.
It's like people can't go to other countries to visit to try to do bad things. It just lumped all into one classification of person. It's sad if you think about it.
Mhm. Okay, so the U.S. drafts plan to withdraw all troops from Syria. So the U.S. has I can't talk today, reportedly drafted a plan to fully withdraw its military forces from Syria, marking a potential shift in American involvement in the region. While no official timeline has been confirmed, the move comes amid ongoing tensions in the Middle East and increased attacks on the U.S. bases by Iran-backed militias.
Yeah, so there's always a little thing that wherever America goes, they always put a military base in that country. You know, just I guess for a presence, right? Except for Vietnam, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, we need to get the troops out of Syria because there's no reason for them to be there. Yes, there are terrorists and terrorist cells in there and all that, but if there's no active war and there's not a funneling of resources into that area, you're just putting them in a line of fire for no reason. So unless we're planning to actually do something, we need to bring it back. Bring those guys and gals back so they can be home with their families until we plan on doing something. Because just having a presence there, it's just poking the bear, in my opinion, you know?
Very true, Ken. This is a very hot topic that I've seen lately in the news. Trump takes executive action to ban transgender women from women's sports.
Yeah. So there's 3 clips the docket team put in here. We're going to check out really quick before we delve into this.
This is a nice crowd, isn't it, huh? You've been waiting a long time for this. Yeah. So have I. Actually, it was so ridiculous. But here we are. And this doesn't have to be long. It's just all about common sense. Doesn't have to be long. In a few moments, I'll sign a historic executive order to ban men from competing in women's sports. It's about time.
I am 100% in favor of this. Like, there's, you can't argue it, in my opinion, but I'll get into why.
So,
I don't know if I switch videos, like if it keeps streaming, so I'm just going to do it the Boomer way. Welcome to the Boomer Report, ladies and gentlemen.
just to finish up, I'm directing the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who, by the way, is doing a fantastic job. In fact, he just left Panama. We're trying to take back the Panama Canal, little things like that. It'll all happen. But Marco is going to make clear to the International Olympic Committees there, and he's going to make it as clear as anybody can make it, that America categorically rejects transgender lunacy. We want them to change everything having to do with the Olympics and having to do with this absolutely ridiculous subject that we even have to talk about this subject. If you went back 10 years or 15 years and you would move forward and listen to this, you'd say, what the hell are they talking about? This is impossible. But you have people out there, Democrats, that are still totally in favor. They can't win the argument. They can't win a debate. They look like fools, and they continue to go on. And it's okay, because as long as they do this and open borders and all of the other things they talk.
We're getting away from the subject at hand. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. But the last clip is just him signing. So here's the way I see it. I'm 6'5", 280 pounds, right? If tomorrow I say that I want to be a woman and I start doing the treatments, I start doing everything, and then a year or two later, I'm saying, I want to get into combat sports. There is so much of a disadvantage that a born woman would have with someone of my stature. It's like not even funny. Granted, yes, I know hormones do certain things to change the body, but they won't change skeletal structure. They won't change muscular structure. So if I work out, I'm still going to be a big ass human being. And you see, like in the UFC, like, you know, they let a transgender, a male turning female fight a woman, literally shattered her orbital bone with one punch. It's just not fair. And then you have transgender women doing powerlifting competitions, destroying records because they're a man. They're biologically muscle and skeletally a man. And it's not fair, in my opinion. That's all I'm saying.
I understand where you're coming from. I believe if anybody's playing a sport for fun, anybody should play.
Yes.
Of course. I didn't like the way that he phrased it in the first clip where he said, I'm going to ban men competing in women's sports. It seems like a jab to all the trans women out there. Because, these people don't consider themselves men anymore. They're considered trans women.
Yeah.
And I understand where people are saying, like, some people say that trans women aren't women. Well, we know that. We know that trans women they weren't born as a woman, but they are trans women. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, it's a bad way to put it, but I'm an American, but I'm not going to forget where I come from, right?
Definitely.
They're a woman, but they're not going to forget where they came from. And in that, I do agree with you that it could be very unfair when it comes to competing with these types of things. Because physically there is a disproportion there. But I think Lean On Me said it best. They said, to each their own is my opinion. So
Yeah.
to each their own, everybody can live their life the way that they want to.
Exactly.
I do love every category of person. Unless you're a bad person, then obviously I'd get out of here.
Yeah.
But when it comes to sports and things of that nature, I can't protect one category of people when it means the harm of others.
Exactly. I've always said whoever looks in the mirror should feel comfortable with what they see. I firmly believe in that. But when it comes to certain things, such as sports, and there's just a gap of fairness. I mean, it just is what it is. There's no right answer. There's just no right answer, because everyone has an opinion. Everyone thinks they know better than everybody else. People should feel comfortable for what they see in the mirror, but me and Beans should not be in a powerlifting competition. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. There's no good way to solve this. So the easiest way is just to ban it for the safety of everybody. Winterfell with the $9.99. The other shows in Lolcow verse need to take notes on how to run a show from you guys. You make it look easy. Cheers. We appreciate that, Winterfell. Thank you so much. This is definitely a hot topic.
Subject.
Yeah. And it's definitely one that can be scrutinized heavily, but people have the right, like I'll say one last time, people have the right to be happy. But when you're going to put someone in a situation where it's drastically unfair for both parties, someone needs to step in. And I mean both parties. And I'm going to leave it at that.
One last thing. I think we're also looking at a very minority group in sports.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have the opinion that we're not going to change everything for a minority if the majority is fine with how it is. We can debate that in the chat or in the Discord. But that's personally what we think. And everybody's entitled to their own opinions, and everybody
100%.
thinks a certain way. And I
100%.
think that that's the beauty of Lolcow Cafe. We can all voice our opinions and have a say in it. And I think that's what I love the most about this community. But moving forward, Trump has held no meetings on Gaza takeover plan before announcement. So, from the Times of Israel, the U.S. President Donald Trump did not hold meetings or discussions or explore any of the practicalities or legalities behind his proposal to take ownership of Gaza and displace its 2 million residents before announcing it as a press conference this week. I apologize, my mouth is very dry.
That's fine.
So Trump had recently repeatedly floated the idea that Egypt and Jordan take in some Gazian refugees while the Strip was being rebuilt, an idea they have both rejected. Interesting. But on Tuesday, the new U.S. president went much further during a statement to the media at the White House alongside Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu when he suggested that the U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip.
So I'm sorry.
Continue.
My bad. I'm sorry. Just real quick. So Netanyahu did
Mhm.
an interview Wednesday and he said, I don't think Trump talked about sending U.S. troops to complete the job of destroying Hamas. That's our commitment. That's our job. And we're absolutely committed to it. So that's different. That puts a different spin on things. If Trump
Mhm.
wants to do this without military and just displace people, it's like I said yesterday, where does he have the power to do that? Where's he going to get the authority to just tell 2 million people, all right, y'all, it's a wrap. Go somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's just a little different. I just want to throw that out there. I'm sorry, Beans. Go ahead.
You're all good. Going into that a little bit more, yesterday we talked about this a little bit,
Mhm.
his plans. But whenever you hear this stuff on the news, you would think that he was talking to people. There was a conference of some sort. But it seems more like he's doing things underneath the table so we don't realize what's happening. Because whenever important things like this, especially something like Hamas and Israel and
Mhm.
Palestine and all these things happening, there should be talks, and the American people should be privy to what is happening because it is our tax dollars that are being used.
100%. I agree. And Trump always presents himself as a person that the American people need to know what's going on, right? Like we talked
Mhm.
about it yesterday, the drones. He literally said the American people need to know what the drones are once we find out. So, if he's trying to do certain things, obviously not everything can be told because of national security, obviously. But,
Mhm.
maybe there'll be a declassified version that the American people can know and understand and kind of know what is going on, to your point.
Kind of piggybacking on what you said about the drones, it makes it kind of, what's the best way to put it? It's kind of silly. It's
Mhm.
kind of silly how when it comes to things like the drones, like, oh, there's drones in the sky, don't worry, American people, everything's fine. He's very open about that sort of thing.
Mhm.
But when it comes to something so important like this potential war that's going on, that we might get involved in, there's like no talks whatsoever.
Yeah.
So something that directly involves us as American people, um, yeah, it's just weird. It's very weird how we can know so much about the drones and not know so much about the steps moving forward with Gaza.
Yeah. So the way security clearances work, for those that don't know, there's different levels to it, right? So, like when I was in the military, I had a certain level of security clearance, right? Because of the equipment I was around and the information that was being told. I wasn't directly involved in getting the intelligence, but to go into certain areas, right? Let's just say eavesdropping or whatever. Not saying people are doing that, but that's just the easiest way to explain it. You had to have certain levels of security. And to go to another level, you had to have a higher level, right? So, you know, depending on what happens and depending on what happens with Gaza and what Trump ends up doing, I think we will get some form of explanation. But as far as all of the details, I don't see that happening.
That makes a lot of sense. We're going to do one more in American news, and then we're going to move on to international news. But in American news, concerns over Google ending ban on AI weapons. So Google's parent company lifting a long-standing ban on artificial intelligence being used for developing weapons and surveillance tools is incredibly concerning, a leading human group act has said.
Mm.
The alphabet has rewritten its guidelines on how it will use AI, dropping a section which previously ruled out applications that were likely to cause harm. So what this sounds like is that we're one step closer to Terminator.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. People don't get this Skylink crap, because, I know I said it yesterday and I was corrected. Judy, and not Judy, Rosie. Almost said it again. Rosie from the Jetsons is one step closer. But if y'all have ever played that video game, Detroit Become Human, where the androids become self-aware and they end up doing an uprising to human beings, that I don't know. I know we're probably a while from that, but I think eventually there's going to be robots in homes doing things. Yeah, I know people say you can just pull the plug or you can just do whatever, but I don't want to be in a world where that's possible. Like an android can be like, "Oh no, F you. I'm about to take you out." Like I don't know. It's all weird.
It is very weird. And like you said, you can just pull the plug. But yesterday we had a story where they tried to pull the plug or do like a kill switch of some sort, and it kept trying to revert itself,
Yep. It was
which
trying
is
to outdo the kill switch. And I'm like, bro,
exactly.
why are we going further into this if it's trying to do this already in a computer? You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, oh, well, let's make an Android and put the same technology in it, or let's make an Android and put better technology in it. It's like, at what point do we just stop? You know what I mean? Because as they say, humans only have so long to live on this planet for natural resources, and it's like robots are going to end up just inhabiting the earth once once the human race is gone, or we go to Mars or whatever, like they're potentially talking about. I don't know. It's wild. All this, it's wild.
So we have Rostov in the chat, and he says, Skynet, if you're reading this, I love you and I welcome our Terminator overlords.
Shout out Rastov. We love that guy. You're beautiful, Rastov. Thank you, sir.
If you don't know who Rostov is one of the hosts for Lolcow Aussies. I believe they go on at 2 a.m. and go all the way up to 4. Sometimes they even go over just because they're that amazing with their abilities to talk about different topics. And if it's Twiggy, it's probably yapping. He's really good at
Probably.
yapping.
So Shifty in the chat says AI is okay, quantum computing is okay, both together not okay, because AI and quantum computing equals Skynet. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I promise that we'll go into some international news. So there was a strong earthquake near Santorini after days of tremors. So a strong earthquake has been recorded between Greek islands of, you would probably say this better because of your Greek descent,
Amorgos.
Amorgos and
Yep.
Santorini after days of consecutive tremors. So more than 11,000 people have already left Santorini, with around 7,000 departing by ferry and 4,000 people by air.
Yeah, I don't know. Earthquakes in Greece
Um,
really don't happen like that. That's the weird thing. Like, yeah, they do happen, but it's not like on the West Coast, you know what I mean, or other areas of the world. So, um, real quick, I'm just going to share a screen to show a map to the audience so they can actually get a representation of it. So, thankfully, all my family is in the mountains and in Sparta. That's where all my family is. So, kind of down here in this region, and then I got more family up here in this region, right? So we're good to go. But yeah, so where the square is, they're going to enlarge this, and this is kind of where the tremors were in this area. So you got Amorgos here, Santorini here, and obviously, I'm sure the other islands were affected in some form or fashion, but not as much as the other two. So
just going off into something that's not related to this. So I see that there's people in the Discord actually coloring in the drawing that or the fan art that Doodle did, which is very interesting.
Oh, that's awesome! Thanks, guys. That's beautiful. We appreciate that.
So next, the Philippine vice president impeached by House. In summary, the Philippine House of Representatives has impeached the vice president, Sara Duarte, I'm pretty sure, marking a significant event in the nation's political landscape. The impeachment, supported by at least 215 lawmakers, centers on allegations including plotting to assassinate President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., corruption, and failure to oppose China's actions in the South China Sea.
Wow. Well, this is what happens when you F around and find out, as they say. Her fate is now in the hands of 24 senators, 2/3 of whom must vote for her impeachment for her to be removed from office. Although a trial date has not been set, she will remain vice president during the impeachment proceedings. So we'll see what happens.
So here are some key points. Impeachment charges. The Vice President Duarte faces accusations of making a death threat against President Marcos, misappropriating 1,600, a lot of money, in intelligence funds, and not denouncing China's aggressive moves in disputed waters. Political implications. This development underscores a deepening rift between Duarte's and Marcos, who were initially allies. And then the Senate trial ahead, the impeachment now moves to the Senate, where 23 senators will conduct a trial to determine Vice President Duterte's fate. If convicted, she could be removed from office and face a lifetime ban from holding any public position.
Well, hopefully she comes out unscathed, as they say.
Okay, so next we're going to go into the first glimpse inside burnt scroll after 2,000 years. So, from the BBC, a badly burnt scroll from the Roman town of Herculaneum, I'm pretty sure,
Yep.
has been digitally unwrapped, providing the first look inside for 2,000 years. The document, which looks like a lump of coal, was charred by the volcanic eruption of Mount Vesuvius? Something?
Vesuvius.
Yes, sir. In 79 AD, and is too fragile to be physically opened. But now scientists have used a combination of X-ray imaging and artificial intelligence to virtually unfurl it, revealing rows and columns of text.
That's wild, man.
I do remember years ago, this was a while ago, there was something similar. I'm not sure if it was the same scroll or if this was a different scroll, but I remember hearing on the news that they were having some sort of a competition to see who can decipher and fill in missing pieces of ancient text.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that. That was
Yep.
very interesting.
That stuff is wild, just how far, like Mr. Dean in chat said, amazing technology these days. Yeah, it's cool what technology is able to do. Obviously, with Skynet looming, others can argue that. But, when you get stuff like this where you can get a glimpse into 2,500 years ago just by digitally doing whatever it needs to do, that's pretty cool, I think. And, hopefully technology is used for good. Unfortunately, there are some bad people out there in the world, but it's kind of like I always said. You'll never see, I guess, for people to buy solar-powered cars because the police would have a field day in high-speed chases. Because, a lot of times when cars run out of gas, they got to stop. You get a solar-powered car with a battery, bro, you're going to go. You're going to keep going. So it's just one of those things, like technology is also for good, but hopefully it remains wholesome and used for good.
That is very true. So now we're going to move forward into a bit. I'm sorry, there's somebody who's chatting.
What's up?
Oh, I think this is more of a after show thing. There's somebody who's in astrology, like finiciato or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Somebody who really likes astrology is giving us some pointers for like an astrology segment.
Ooh.
So that is really cool because I really like it.
I was like, yeah.
So
Are they in the Discord?
Yeah, they are.
They
in
can
the
have
Discord,
members
but I
waiting,
don't-
and we can bring them on and talk to them if they want.
Oh yeah, so Sid, if you do want to come on and talk a little bit about astrology a little bit later, we wouldn't mind, and we would actually very much enjoy that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We're going to go into some sip and smile news, so more positive news today. Bringing picture books to life for blind and visually impaired children. So, in his garage workshop, 88-year-old Len Webb uses a chisel to carve the underwater creatures that were originally illustrated by Axel Schaefer for Julia Donaldson's picture book, Tiddler.
Yeah, that is wild. That is so wild. He's able to do that at his age. That's the picture of the man, the myth, the legend himself. In his garage workshop, 88-year-old uses the chisel. Yeah, that's cool. That is super cool. So these must be the two people that are involved in bringing it out for him. That's cool, man. That's one of the things, right? We said it yesterday. People don't have senses. And, obviously their other senses heighten up. So you have, people that try to help them enjoy things to the level they can, is the same as people with all of their senses. It's cool that people have heart to do that. And it's also cool that people want to help, especially the children, right? Because children are the most innocent creatures on earth. Help them, live through, the chiseling that they do, the braille to reading and everything. I was blanking on the word. I'm sorry, but it's awesome. It really is.
It is. I did want to make a correction. I thought I said a name, but I read it wrong.
Mhm.
It was actually somebody else who told me about astrology.
Got it.
Um,
Well, I'm gonna share. They got a
Yes.
video clip. I'm gonna share real quick while you handle that.
hmm
Yeah, that's beautiful right there, man. If there ever is something that is the definition of beautiful, it is that. It's again, there's so much good in the world, and it's sad that sometimes the bad outweighs the good as far as news and what people put out there. It's I don't know, man. I hate it. I really do hate it.
So next we're going to go into orphaned wolf pup gains new companion in local sheltered dog at a Kansas zoo.
Once,
So an orphaned Maine, yes.
sorry. January's Corner with the Seek, $100. Morning, afternoon, evening. Hi, Beans and Ken. Here's some Swedish love from me making coffee right now. We appreciate you. Thank you. We appreciate that. Enjoy.
So moving on, an orphaned maned wolf pup named Amora at the Sedgwick County Zoo in Kansas has found companionship in a young sheltered dog named Slinky. Oh, that's a cute name.
That was adorable.
So they have recently taken Slinky, a 3-month-old brindle mix, who had just been separated from his sister due to adoption. The two were carefully introduced and have since formed a close bond.
We got a video clip to show the cuteness of animals. The older wolf is over it. You can already tell. That's funny.
Oh,
Yeah, it's in the description, it says wolves rely on one another to function, thrive, and survive. As highly social animals, they lived in a structured family units called packs. Cooperative living gives wolf families lots of benefits, including raising pups. So, I always said I think it's cool that like animals can like sense, I guess, immaturity is the best way to put it. Like,
mhm.
when normally, like, say, like if a dog or other animals smell like a baby, they act a little bit differently towards it, so they can smell like, I don't know how else to put it, just the immaturity of the animal. So that's pretty cool.
That makes sense. Dean was chiming into our YouTube chat. He says, palate cleanser. That's very true. I think
Definitely.
that's specifically why our docket team put Sip and Smile news after the world news, because we do know that sometimes the news can get a bit heavy, and we just need a little bit more positivity in our lives. We don't want to end it on a sour note and then have you spend the rest of your morning, afternoon, or night kind of with sad news or
Yeah,
or devastating news in your head.
definitely.
So next we have a bit of bittersweet news. So the 10-year-old superhero that saved his little sister in Philly plane crash miraculously survived head injury. Gosh darn it. He wasn't supposed to make it. So a 10-year-old boy who is being hailed as a superhero after saving his younger sister in a plane crash in Philadelphia. Despite suffering a head injury, the boy miraculously survived and is now recovering. Authorities and medical professionals had initially feared he wouldn't make it. but his resilience and bravery during this crash were key in ensuring his sister's safety. That's amazing. I said it was bittersweet because, with all these plane crashes, it's not something that you want to hear every day. Um, it's terrible that they even experience that at such a young age. But you know, the sweetness overweighs the bitterness. Where this boy, being so young, he had the instinct or the feeling to protect his little sister during this scary time, which is something that even some adults wouldn't even think of at the moment.
Definitely. So this is a picture of a little boy and their father, Andre Howard. My son, this is the father, tells his sister, get down. And he grabs her as I hear the glass shatter. I turn around. There's a piece of metal sticking out of my son's head from the plane. A good Samaritan raced over, took the shirt off his back, and put pressure on the wounded boy's head. That I know we covered it when it first happened from Drama Alert, but that is just so scary. But yeah, man, just the fact that a 10-year-old just had the maturity, to protect his family, and I know like usually at that age, brothers and sisters are fighting and all that, because they're becoming adults and dealing with everything. But it's just cool, man. You see stuff like that, and it's sad it had to happen, but the fact that it did happen just kind of shows, even children can have the maturity to save a life.
That's very true. Next, breaking news. So far, there is no breaking news. Thank goodness,
Probably a
because
good
usually
thing.
breaking news. Yeah. So we're going to go into your favorite section, the sports section. If you would like to take that over, Ken.
Ooh. So Jimmy Butler in the now 4-team trade, because it was supposed to involve Toronto, I believe, getting Kyle Anderson. But the Heat ended up taking Kyle Anderson, so it went into a 4-team trade. So Jimmy Butler to the Golden State Warriors. I don't know, Jimmy being Jimmy. You know what I mean? He's very much a hothead. But, hopefully, Curry and Draymond can kind of curb that a little bit. We may get another Draymond punching video, punching Jimmy Butler instead of Jordan Poole. But my Lakers did a trade late last night with the Charlotte Hornets, getting Mark Williams, who's a 7'2", like I think he's like 23 or 24-year-old center. He's been doing work, averaging 16 points, I believe, in I think 8 or 9 rebounds for Charlotte. So, rumor has it that Luka was heavily involved in that trade. They did give up their last first-round pick, and they gave up Dalton Connect, which, I love me some Dalton Connect, with the 3. But, I mean, Smoking at Home Brewing gifting 5 Lolcow Cafe memberships. Thank you so much, Smoking at Home Brewing. Those who get those, please be sure to thank him, because that was beautiful. So there's other little things happening. Brandon Ingram to the Raptors. He's getting paired with Scotty Barnes. Their center's name, it's hard for me to pronounce, but no, I think, they'll be okay. I don't know how Brandon Ingram is going to be as a leader, but I don't know. People like to argue about that one. So they are saying Luka's first game is going to be this Saturday against the Pacers. So I'll definitely be watching that game. And mark your calendars for February the 25th, because that is the next Lakers and Mavs game. Right now, Lakers are 1-0, Mavs are 0-1 since the trade. Didn't have the newly acquired players playing, but people said LeBron had to show out for Luka to show him the team that he's getting. So we'll see what happens. But kind of closes out basketball. So with football, I know we got the Super Bowl around the corner. Travis Kelce reveals whether the singer has any game day superstitions ahead of the Super Bowl. So let's see, a frenzied mix. Oh, there's no clip of that. Sorry, but Alien Sloth and Silliness Super Bowl ad offers the ads that they could play for the Super Bowl. That's awesome stuff. So one of the good thing about the Super Bowl is, the halftime show, the ads, because people usually go all out, just to try to rip City. Sorry, video games. I don't know when the Portland Trail Blazers are going to be relevant again. But, A lot of people think there's going to be a lot of cinematic movie trailers coming out for new movies. Movies that were hinted. A big one is Fantastic Four. A lot of people are looking forward to that. I don't know. They've already tried twice. It failed twice. Third time's a charm? I don't know. And then you have the new Jurassic Park Rebirth. How to Train Your Dragon, whatever number they're on. Smurfs, whatever. Novocaine. That may be interesting. And then last but not least, another Lilo and Stitch for all you Lilo and Stitch fans. So, oh man, that's pretty much good for sports. The rest, But let's get into the LCU a little bit because we've had some crazy events with the LCU. Guys, I know we're supposed to be only a 90-minute show, but we're probably going to go a little bit over today because there's no show ahead of us because I definitely wanted to talk about this LCU stuff. So, did you watch Queen's Beans?
Yes, I did watch Queens. That was an episode to say the least.
Yes, it was. We all know Miss Becky came on the show yesterday. Shout out Miss Becky. Thank you for doing that. Right now, the court of public opinion is not too high on her right now because of what happened with Psycho Mom. So, yeah, no. We don't have any clips. But long story short, Becky acquired the address of where Psycho Mom works at her club and sent a box of wine as a ha-ha. So with Psycho Mom's sobriety, I believe it's 5 or 6 years. I'm not 100% sure, but 5 or 6 years sober. A lot of people didn't like that, and I'm not sure what the real goal was doing that. It just seems like there's a stab at sobriety, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's a very messed up thing to do. I know she came in here yesterday and she was very sweet with us. It seemed like she was showing us a different side of her, which I do appreciate. And I always give people the benefit of the doubt. But once Queens was on, and just like her attitude on Queens, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not going to lie. Especially when somebody works so hard to stay sober, which is a very difficult thing to do. Sending a box of wine like that is kind of a poopy, because this is a family channel, a poopy thing to do.
Yes, it is.
Somebody did say, gosh darn it, I lost it.
While she's looking,
Beggy is wild for that.
oh yeah, she definitely is.
She knew it was doxed info and she knew exactly what she was doing, said Shifty, which is true. A lot of people are upset with Keemstar because they believe that it went against the whole doxing rule in the Discord. You being a mod, what do you have to say for that?
So she was banned. I will confirm that. All I know is she broke a rule of the Discord. When you break rules of Discord, especially with IRL, it's a bannable offense. Now, whatever happens after that, I have not seen any discussions or anything. I can tell you that much. But guess we'll have to tune in for 6:30 because we're on 90-minute schedules now. 6 or 6:30. I'm not 100% sure.
I believe so. I'll go into announcements just to double check. Some people were debating that she didn't actually break the doxing rule because it wasn't her that doxed. It was somebody else that kind of doxed where Psycho Mom worked, and she just took that information and sent over a package. How do you feel about that being in kind of sort of a gray area?
So I view it as, I guess, trying to do ill will with ill-gotten gain. So how can I say this? Since it was a making fun of her sobriety with a box of wine, to me, that kind of adds a layer to it. It wasn't just like a ha-ha, like flowers. I know she said a pizza or some BS, but the thing is, she used someone getting information that could potentially hurt Psycho Mom. And then she further put icing on the flame, because I'm going to say flame, not cake, put icing on the flame by making fun of her sobriety and potentially trying to get her to break it, which people need to take that very seriously. It's not cool to do that. Don't do that to anybody if they're trying to better their life and be better people, especially with drugs and alcohol. Leave them be. Just leave them be. Let them do what they need to do, support them and what they need. You know what I mean? It's weird, man. It's a weird one, but
So I did find the 90-minute schedule in announcements. So Cafe 10 a.m., Nerds 1 p.m., but it's off right now. Becky would be at 3:30, which is also off right now. Milkers would be at 5, again off. Lolcow Live is at 6:30. Queens is going to start at 8. Rewind is at 9:30. Tech Talk is at 11, and Aussies at 2 a.m. There is no test in that lineup because Keemstar actually reached out to Grimm and said, hey bro, I know that this is a very complicated schedule. You can pretty much stream whenever you want. The only problem that you're going to have is that there is no redirect. So that is the issue with test, if you don't know. Kind of going into the whole Becky situation, a lot of people are saying that this is kind of a ploy to revamp Milkers, kind of have Psycho Mom taking over that big bad villain, but not, kind of being like a savage but not savage, because a savage was like on and off, kind of like the villain in the story, but now Psycho Mom is kind of like the hero and Becky is the villain sort of thing. So maybe they're like switching it up with Queens and Mafia Milkers. Some people are saying, yes, it was wrong to send the wine, but you can't put the doxing on her. Messing with somebody's sobriety is potentially putting their life in danger. Not cool, not funny, and it's a plot for Milker's revamp. So everybody's kind of echoing the same things when it comes to this Becky situation and Mafia Milkers. But there was a lot of other drama that happened in the Lolcow universe. Kelly was very, very disheartened when she heard that they wanted to do a makeover on her. What do you think about that?
I think Epic Brady with $4.99 says it's messed up regardless. Everyone knows the rules. Keep the beef on Discord. Taking it to real life should never even been a thought for anybody. But so here's the thing. And with Wings, he's very much he's a critical thinker to a fault. He's just so straight and narrow. There's no left, there's no right. It just is. So, like he said, he thought Becky was a 6 and his wife was a 5, right? No man would ever say that about their woman. You know, like I know my wife is a 10 to me. She's the love of my life. She's my best friend. No woman will ever top her. I know that. But, you know, with Wings, I'm not saying he doesn't see Kelly that way, because we know when Priscilla died, he cried at the thought of losing Kelly. And she had to go in there to console him. So I don't know where the mindset is or where the thinking is with him doing what he did as far as Kelly and all that goes. Thou with the $5. Good thing Keem banned all those people. Otherwise, somebody would have been doxxed. Oh, wait. GWAHAHAHAH. So
I think he's going for like an evil laugh there. Gwahahaha.
Wahahaha. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So evidently, Boogie has something to say.
And when somebody...
So the issue...
Kelly with the brown paper bag over her head is just sad. Even if it is whatever you want to call it, it's sad.
And when somebody...
So the issue is that your boys are trash talking your woman and you letting it happen.
They're not trash talking you, though.
They're totally...
You're just feeling like they're trash talking you. Because you fixate on it. You think you're ugly, so somebody mentions anything about vanity, you automatically take it as the worst case scenario when it was coming from a place of good thinking. Like Desi didn't come up with this
Please
idea and be like,
tell them-
"Oh, look at the ugly duckling Wings is married to. Maybe we should help him
That's
out
what
and beauty
Boogie
her up."
basically meant.
Bro, Boogie, I think Boogie was saying that.
He's anti-fat girl.
No, I would never. Even if I thought it, I wouldn't say it.
I don't know. We all know Boogie hates fat women for his own self-loathing issues. I don't understand that because whatever, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I can't.
Well,
I
the only
care
thing I
that my
can say
husband-
as a woman is I get where Kelly's coming from, especially after everything that happened with the whole Wing saying that Becky was higher than her on like the attractiveness scale. That already kind of really hit her deep inside. And then probably hearing about this whole makeover thing, it's easy to misconstrue things or take things in a certain way. Being somebody who my brain is a lot slower than my mouth. Sometimes I say things in a certain way that is taken very wrong, but I don't mean it that way. I never mean anything in a malicious manner, and I think that's what kind of happened yesterday with the text message. I think that they were trying to say,
Oh
like,
my
hey,
God.
we should do...
Brad the Dom, welcome to Pay Pig. Bro, thank you, Brad. Brad is amazing. Brad is on the docket team. He kind of makes sure it's just organized, and he's a very integral part of this show. So the fact he's a Pay Pig, I'm going to try the air horn. I'm going to see if it works. Let me know. W's or else for the air horn. But Brad, thank you so much, bro. That is amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Going back to what I was saying. So yeah, she's already sensitive about the topic. Reading something like you need a makeover, she probably took it in a bad way just because of the history behind Wings and her, especially when it comes to her appearance. Reading the text message, I didn't think that it was supposed to be anything malicious. I think they're just like, hey, you work so hard. Kind of like the whole Tina situation. It would be nice if you had a makeover and everybody could see how you look like whenever you're done up. But I do understand where she's coming from. She's very busy. She goes to the gym a lot. She's doing all this running. I personally don't like being all dolled up whenever I'm constantly going to the gym because my hair gets sweaty. It'll get ruined anyways. That's why I never have my hair straight, because the littlest drop of humidity, especially living in Florida, I'll turn into a chia pet, basically.
Yep. Thal with the $5. Listen, Ken, not all of us are as beautiful and can talk in a pure sexy voice as you, okay? We are just normal mortals, so of course, Boogie feels that way. Here's the thing, guys. I told Boogie I could have called him on the phone and sang little sweet nothings in his ear as he fell asleep, but no, he chose my co-host man over me. So, shout out Grim. We love you, bro. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Thal. Whoever you want to be today, thank you so much for that. Oh, man. So, Boogie evidently thinks Kelly is ugly, and he made it such. So, let's check that out.
I care that my husband doesn't think enough of me to defend me.
I did defend you.
After I yelled at you.
You don't give me time. It's like, oh, I should be like a bulldog if
I
somebody's in
waited
the front
5
yard.
minutes. How much time did you need? Are you that slow?
Oh my lord! I got fucking ketchup on my head. Leave me alone.
Fuck it, she's ugly then. If that's what y'all want to hear, is that what you want to hear, Kelly?
Look at that. Look, the
I
truth
knew
comes
it.
out.
Shit together.
Look at this motherfucker, dog.
Get your
You want me
hair
to knock
in.
you out again, Boogie.
Get your hair did. There you go. Get mad at me, King or Jordy.
I knew it.
Bro.
So we have Epic Brady with the $9.99. He says, Boogie should take a hint from Queen. Fat bottom girls make the rockin' world go round. That's
yeah.
true.
That's beautiful right
That
there.
clip, exactly. That clip is very funny to me because I see Grim in both Boogie and in Wings. So whenever Kelly is kind of yelling at Wings saying, you should have defended me, you should have defended me, I think Grim and I don't argue. If we do, we rarely do. And it's usually like a little quip of like, you should have done this, and then we move on with our lives. So that is something that really goes on between us. Usually something happens, And I usually tell Grim, like, hey, this is unfair. I think you should have defended me more. Or, like, I think you should have said this because I'm your girlfriend or, you know, your future wife. And I feel like you should be on my side a little bit more. But I think that's just like a men thing in general.
So-
you guys don't really think of things in that sort of way. Or if you do say something, it's not malicious.
So Thal with the 5. Every time I see Beans, I just really want to buy her a ring. Grim, a nice one. Grim, hint, 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 Grim. This boy is so slow at hints. So here's how me and my wife do it. If someone says something bad to her in front of me, especially if it's a man, I'm going to that ass, bro. I ain't gonna let no man talk to my wife a certain kind of way. Bro, you want to talk to somebody, come talk to me about it. If it's a woman, obviously, you know, I'm gonna let my wife handle that battle. Now, fortunately, we've never got into that situation, you know, because she says people are afraid of me because of my resting asshole face, and I'm a big dude. I'm stature the way I walk or whatever, right? I don't think about that, but she just tells me this. But I feel it's my job to make her feel beautiful, right? Women, a lot of times, there's a lot of societal pressures that go into women, especially with, you know, skinny, whatever, what have you, celebrities, which I blame the cocaine epidemic for, but that's neither here nor there. Every time I see her, I'm like, hey, gorgeous, how you doing? You know, I'm always like doing little cute things for, you know, kissing her on the forehead, kissing her on the cheek or whatever. Whenever she's mad at me, I like to nag her a little bit just to, you know, weigh it on a little bit thin more or whatever. And then whenever I go to kiss her, I'm like, can I just get the cheek? And she'll put her little cheek out. You know what I mean? So just doing little cute things, right? Just to make, I want her to feel special because she's very special to me. So when I look at other men and how they do things, right, I have to remember that this is not my relationship, so I can't really judge. As long as there's no abuse or like infidelity, I'm not going to judge because that's not my relationship. But, you know, I just know what I do and I know how I would do it. So if people ask me advice, I tell them what I would do. I don't know. Optivo, Ken, please stop simping. Who am I simping for, bro? My wife? Like, come on, bro. I can't. But I don't know. That's just kind of how I am. So, and I will simp for my wife any day of the week, Optivo. And why's your name white, bro? I ain't gonna listen to you unless you got a green name. I don't want to hear it, bro. I can't.
Calling people out. I will like to say that sometimes it is our fault as women. Women, sometimes we hear like I love you over and over and over again, and then like in the middle of the night we'll probably roll over and be like, hey, do you love me? It drives Grim crazy because he's like, I'm going to marry you, of course I love you. You're going to have my children, of course I love you. Like, this is annoying, stop asking me. And I do understand him. But going back to what I said about like this clip being both like Boogie and Ken both being Grim does that thing too, where if you start attacking him on something and you don't give him like a chance to really like say his piece, he'll just give up and he's like, okay, fine, like Boogie did, okay, fine, you're ugly, I said it, you're ugly, whatever. Grim does that all the time. It's both a love-hate relationship.
I refuse.
Yeah.
I could never do that. It's like this. Last thing before we continue. I almost told her I loved her the very first time. She was literally in a white tee, some saggy, not really saggy, but like oversized gray sweats and some Jordans. And we were figuring out where to go out on a date, and she was just walking next to me, and I was looking at her. I was like, Jesus Christ, I love this woman. Now, I almost said it then, but I didn't. I waited until we were eating a steak, and she had juices dripping down her mouth, just going to town on that motherfucker. And I was just looking, I was like, damn, I love you.
I think that's like the silly things about men and relationships. You or us women, we usually get all dolled up. We put on a whole bunch of makeup. We put our nicest dress to go out on a date. And we expect the men to be like, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, blah, 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 hyping us up, simping for us forever, right? But it usually doesn't work out that way. Usually they're like, You're your most beautiful whenever you have your bonnet on,
Yes.
white oversized t-shirts, sweats on, just completely undone.
Yep.
I guess that is true love. If you love me at my worst, then you probably love me at my best as well.
Foul with the 5. No, Ken. You could say that exactly once to the wife, just one time. LOL, just kidding, bro. We love you. Fuck. Sorry. Hell no, I'm not doing that. You know, and it's actually kind of funny. We've been together. March will be 12 years we've actually been together. So it's to the point where, like, if we're getting ready to go somewhere, I'll look at her and be like, how you dressing? And she'll be like, I'm just wearing sweats and a t-shirt. So I'll match her energy. Or like say, all right, what are you wearing? She's like, you know, I'm probably gonna wear a dress and some earrings, probably do my makeup a little bit. All right, cool. So I match her energy when I dress. You know, it's just, you know, if she's gonna look good, I want to look good for her. You know, if she wants to go out chilling, you know, then I'll go out chilling. You know, like we'll match energy. So, you know, it's cool. But
That's very true.
going on.
Yeah,
I was gonna move on to the next one. Wings. Go ahead.
we're on the same brain wavelength.
Ooh. Messages to
Wings
Grim.
is on-
Messages to Grim. And ask this girl to marry you, bro. All right, continue.
We're all connected. It's a hive mind of some sort.
There you go.
So moving on, Wings is actually on the hunt for an editor for the Lolcow universe.
We need another.
Yeah. So anybody watching that, you know, thinks they can dibble dabble, you know what I mean? Check it out. Reach out to Wings. Oh my God, my mouse don't want to work.
We need another position.
Get a
It's got to be a
pen.
paid position. And I think this is 100% needed for the growth of the universe. We need a editor. And we've already had editors. You've already fired motherfuckers. You can't find somebody you trust. But
Community Cardio, welcome to Cash Cow. We appreciate you, Community Cardio. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
we're not gaining subs at the rate that we should gain subscribers at. And the quality isn't uniformed across the universe. I feel like we should hire a guy, pay them a flat rate, and they should do videos for the entire channels and upload them on the individual channels they clip them for. Let me give you an example. Nobody is going to find Keemstar versus McJuggernuggets about the story fire if it's in a list of live stream videos that get lost in a playlist. What they will find is Keemstar confronts McJuggernuggets about Storyfire. You won't believe the ending, and it's uploaded to our channel. And that could right there would send us ad revenue and subscribers. We need another position.
Get a
It's got to be a
pen.
paid position, and I think this is 100% needed for the growth of the universe. We need.
So yeah, if you think you got those skills that Wings is asking for, feel free. It's $2,000 a month starting. He feels that if your work is gaining them subscribers, members, and revenue, he can get that bumped up. So, you know, Ray Leo, I'm down to pay $2,500 for Fat Camp. I respect the rules. Seems like a fun time. Nothing like exercising with a bunch of funny folks. Yeah, bro. So I went to the camping trip. Time of my life. That was such a great bro out for that weekend. Like, granted, you know, Lord of Rush was beautiful and got the camper for us and didn't, you know, want anything in return. The bed, I thought I was back in my army days when I was in the bed because I'm naturally a big human being. So, you know, I thought it was pretty funny. But now Lord of Rush is beautiful for doing that. You know, Keemstar was a great host. Boogie was Boogie. You know, unfortunately, Wings had the gallbladder collapse. But I'm telling you guys, being at a live event with these dudes and being involved, it's worth it. It is worth it. Whatever it costs, it is totally worth it as a fan.
And I think now it's even. Oh, continue.
No,
Sorry.
we got a donation I wanted to read out. My bad. Val with the 10. Ken, why don't I just take Lolcow Network News, that channel I made up an eon ago, and just 2 clips on there and redirect to Lolcow live channels? Me and Keem just split the take from. Two things. Go on Lolcow test. Talk to Grim. Give him your idea. Let him ask questions because he is the Simon of the LCU. Second thing is, I recommend if anyone has an idea they want to take and there's anything with that, grab the YouTube handle. Because when I pitched this idea, Keem said, you've said it publicly, someone grabbed the YouTube handle. I was like, no, I already have it. And the Twitter. Grab the Twitter as well. Make sure you have those things ready to go. And then that way, you know, if he likes the idea and becomes a show, you already got it. And it shows that you're being proactive. So there's that.
Very good point. I forgot what I was going to go into.
Are we contractually obligated to do what they were doing on Rewind last night?
Ask people about their the t-shirt idea?
Yeah. Or the store.
Or the store. Yeah.
So guys, real quick, they're launching a store. It's supposed to be pretty badass from what we hear. We'll let Keem explain it because he does.
This is good and well, but like
does a much better job than me. So. Oop, wrong thing. Good job, Ken.
CJ, welcome to Cash Cow.
Oh, CJ, what's up? Thank you. Thank you very much. That is beautiful.
this product, and is it quality, and is it going to fall off after 3 washes? Because like the worst thing is getting a t-shirt, like a graphic t-shirt, and it washing and it starts peeling.
Wings, you're talking my lingo. All right. This stuff is not going to be cheap. The margins are not going to be that great as far as like profit for us, right?
Yeah.
But the quality is going to be fucking good. All right. I want someone, I'm not worried about the margins because I want someone to buy a shirt like that shirt so much that they buy another one in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so
I want the shirt to exist 10 years after the show does it.
Well, dude, I did this once before. Axis of Evil, one in the chat. If anyone remembers the Axis of Evil with me, Rice Gum, and Leafy, we dropped a brand, Axis of Evil. People still wear those hoodies today. In fact, Mike's wife, Bridget, still rocks that Axis of Evil hoodie.
Yeah,
So they're promising quality content. Content, is that the right word? Quality merchandise. Good job, Ken. So, you know, Wings is a little uptight about his shirts. I would know because I have his shirt from the boxing match. And let's say it is Harbor Bay 100% cotton. So you guys remember the shirt of shirts that he wore. Him and Boogie signed it for me. So that's beautiful. But nah, anyways, I digress. We're going to see what happens with this. They have some pretty awesome ideas for the store. A little bit extras for the pay pigs and crowns. So, you know, I know we got...
You're going to have to sign into the store.
We got 5 pay pigs right now. So, you know, whenever that cup does drop, maybe there's a cup, I don't know. But if you're a pay pig and maybe we get our first crown, you'll get access to the specialty section. So let's hear what Mr. Keem has to say about it. I think it's going to be super cool, by the way. Oh, I'll literally just about to restream myself in the live. That'd be fun.
You're going to have to sign into the store through your YouTube. It's going to verify if you're a member, if you're a pay pig, if you're a band world, whatever, right? And when you buy something on the store, it'll pop up during the shows. Like bam, 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 this person bought something. Like you'll see it live, like as people are buying. Then on top of it, all right, pay pigs will be able to buy stuff that no one else can buy because it'll verify that they're a fucking pay pig at the store. So you're going to have access to stuff and items that no one else has. Crowns, same thing, bro. But even better yet, you know how on the Discord where they have fucking badges of every, like how they're like a member here, they're a pay pig on Rewind, they're a fucking crown on Aussie, and like, you know how they have the multiple badges of wherever they're supporting and all the shows that they're supporting? Yeah. There is going to be a army jacket, right? An army jacket, and it will verify all your badges, where you're a member of. I'm going to have to sign into the store.
So the cool thing, like he was saying, is he's doing like he's in the army. We had the jackets and we We had Velcro for like our unit patch. The American flag was on this side. Then we had our deployment patch for who we deployed with. And we had our unit patch right here. If you were like Rangers, Special Forces, or other thing, you get things to like for the top. Those are top and a bottom part. Obviously, U.S. Army's over the heart, last name, rank. So what they're trying to do is you get a jacket and you would get different badges on the jacket. As like if you're a pay pig somewhere, cash cow, crown, band world, whatever. So you end up getting something you can wear that shows what you're a member of and your level of membership for all these shows. So it's a pretty cool idea, actually. I got to give Keem credit there. So I know people were talking about cafe cups. That'd be pretty badass, I think. I know Doja has the like the thermos with the Lolcow Live thing. I think it'd be pretty cool if we had one for cafe, like brown. You know what I mean? Like for a coffee, like a cream coffee color, and then like a cup. That'd be pretty cool, actually. I don't know. It'd be pretty cool, I think.
Somebody in chat said the eBay secondhand market is going to be lit.
Hey. But hey, you know, if people are supporting the channels at a certain level and they have access to certain things, you know, hopefully they take that to heart and they would want to, you know, cherish that because they are a certain level member and, you know, use like for us, the coffee cups, they can use that coffee cup whenever they watch our show. I know I'll be getting a mug or a cup to have on the show. They were also talking about like specialty like t-shirts. Like, you know, each host would have their own t-shirt, and then they'd have like clothing memorabilia for each show. That'd be pretty badass too. So, you know, just a different way to support the shows you like, you know, and be a nice, you know, quality material. So
That's very true. Next we're gonna go into John bans Joel the tank guy. Bookie is mad. We kind of touched upon this a little bit yesterday. It was a very controversial topic because
yes, it was.
Joel the tank guy is such a staple
Lone
in the
Wings,
Lolcow
my friend.
universe, especially in the Discord. If you want to see his little tank gifts or little tank facts, make sure that you're a cash cow and up to be able to access the Discord.
Real quick, Quiet Storm says, have to make sure the mug is big. So I will make sure it is bigger than my hand because I like a lot of coffee. This is the 20-ounce venti size from Starbucks. This is what it looks like in my hand. I'm going to make sure that thing is at least 22, 24 ounces. Got to have your coffee, especially me. So.
The only thing I can say to Keemstar is hop to it.
Hey. So yeah, Joel the Tank guy, you either love him or you hate him. He's definitely a pillar of the community with the tank. You know what I mean? So, oh, good job, Ken. Wrong one. Let's, I'm terrible with the mouse right now. I apologize, everybody.
Lone Wings, my
add a
friend.
refresh.
John Fire John now. Long live Captain Tank.
Wait,
Captain
No,
Tank.
you know what?
hold on.
Oh yeah, John's be wilding on the fucking server. I posted it in the mods.
Why? What's he doing?
He banned the tank guy for talking about tanks. And then Lord Rush got him into a private chat with the guy. And Lord Rush is like, hey, man, you need to apologize to this guy and unban him. And this is what I think happened based on the chat. And John's like, nope, KYS. Told him to self-delete in Minecraft.
Told Lord Rush that?
No, told this tank guy that.
Bro. John
For
is-
what?
So there's some stuff going on in the Discord that we're not really going to talk about publicly. If you're in the Discord, you know, we're going to leave it at that. John is a very intense individual. He's definitely very, very forward with his thoughts. That's the best way I can put it. So there was a little spat between him and the tank guy. It got resolved. You know, thankfully, tank guy is back because we love our Joel. You know, people have their opinions about John, so we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it for everybody to have their own opinion. You know, I've talked to John for mod stuff. You know, he's a smart dude. I'll give him credit there. He's a very smart guy. but he also comes across as a certain type of person. So, yes, Nemo, Joel the Tank Guy. So if you were in the Discord, you would know who Joel is. So, $10 a month, you can meet Joel. He is a LCU treasure. And I will leave it at that. I love that guy.
Mm-hmm. One thing I could say about John, I do understand why a lot of people have an aversion to him. He does come across very callous.
That's a good way to put it.
And yeah, I don't mind it. He reminds me of a lot of people that I have in my life, and I never have any ill will or just in general, like, I don't have any malice towards him. There have been multiple times where I've been in the VC and maybe John is there, and I'll like say something along the lines of like, "Hey, I like your new profile picture," or "I like your new name," or something like that, and he just goes, "Gotta add the eye roll there," because I can't see him, but I know he's doing it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
He just gives me the very callous, okay, and I'm just like,
there it is. So, Nemo, you're a member of other shows. You're in there. Cool. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the LCU. That is beautiful, sir. Glammy Lambie is in the chat, and she says, John is a cranky old man trapped in a 9-year-old's body. If you guys watched Mafia Milkers for a bit, John and the Mafia Milkers definitely have a certain history together. And then we will, we'll go from there. Noopy came in, Noopy tried, but we won't get into all that. If y'all watch Mafia Milkers, trust me, y'all know what's going on. Appreciate Nemo says, love you guys. Appreciate you, Nemo. Definitely. Obviously, it'd be people being members here is beautiful, right? But as long as people are in the LCU in some form or fashion, as long as they're supporting shows and they're in the Discord to kind of understand what happened, that's all I really ask for. I'm a mod in the community. I've been a mod for quite a while, and just seeing the community grow and all that, it's very, very touching. So I love it. So thank you, everybody that supports any show in the LCU. It's beautiful. Jessica Rupel, what did you guys think of Queens last night? So before I do that, Eric Brady, Skibidi. We talked about Queens a little bit already. I'm not going to go into crazy detail, but, I think that, Becky is, as far as I know, Becky is banned until whatever happens. I guess we can, wait until 6:30 to find out what does happen in the on Lolcow Live quickly for 8 o'clock on Queen. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Psycho Mom is she's good from what happened. Hopefully positive things are happening to her. I know it is kind of effed up what did happen, but hopefully now we're getting some resolution.
very true. I think that this topic of the LCU, especially to Mr. Keemstar, gets a little bit old, so I just want to move on to something different.
Definitely.
I was thinking some new things that we can talk about kind of towards the end of our show. I think I can go into Steam and just see like the different games that are kind of on sale. I know there's a lot of people in our community that are gamers. If you don't know Dream Daddy, which is kind of a yeah, exactly, Dream Daddy for Valentine's Day, that's a very good game to play. You get to date different dads. So it has a discount of 69% now. Very fitting. Now it's $464 if you want to get that. That's very popular. Hogwarts Legacy has a 70% discount, $17.99.
Wow.
It Takes Two, which is a good game to play with your significant other.
That is a great game. Valentine's Day idea. Buy this game and play it with your partner. I'm telling you, it's beautiful.
Have you played It Takes Two?
We have. And there's arguing, there's love, there's sadness. All emotions come out with this game. And it is awesome to play. So, I definitely highly recommend it for couples, especially with Valentine's Day around the corner.
Exactly. So It Takes Two with the Ken stamp of approval is at 80% off today. And you can get it for $7.99, which is a very good discount. Something else that we can probably go into is music. I know there's a lot of people that like music in our community. I have a very close to my heart artist that I like. Her name is Jessie Reyes. I believe she's Colombian. Her way of singing or music is very unique to me.
Okay.
And she actually came out with a new song named Goliath, I believe during the weekend. So if you don't know who Jessie Reyes is, or you just want to listen to new music, I definitely recommend Goliath by Jessie Reyes to listen to. And I think that it has a very big theme about love. So that would be a very nice song to listen to for Valentine's Day as well.
Beautiful. One thing I will say is, we are potentially looking for a weather person. So, just a nice little, third wheel along for the ride. We'll cut to you for probably like, 2 or 3 minutes just to, liven up a little bit. We are going to get some ideas for segments of the show because, we want to change things up a little bit. So I think having the idea of segments, having little like intro videos for each segment would be kind of cool. I know that, members only content is definitely in the works for me cooking because people want cooking with Ken. Again, if y'all don't know, I got the green light to upload just regular videos to the channel from Keen. So we'll see what happens. I'll put a members poll up in the actual channel itself. Different ideas to see what people want to see me cook. And then I will be uploading that video. Just so everyone knows, I am not a video editor. I have no idea how to edit a video. So give me a little bit of a handicap while I learn how to do video editing. So like I said, there's definitely going to be some more stuff to come. If you guys have ideas for members only content and you are a member, please hit me or Miss Beans up in the Discord. You can hit up a moderator, Brad the Don, Smoking Homebrew, Mr. Seek as well. They're predominant members of the docket team. Just, throw some ideas out there. I know we're today's Thursday, a week and 1 day old of a show. And we already got 5 pay pigs. Thank you so much to our pay pigs. All our cash cow and band world, it really does mean a lot to us that we're getting this amount of support in such a short time period. So I know we're a little different than everybody else in the LCU. We're a different kind of taste than everybody in the LCU. But this is a morning show. You want a nice, chill, calm environment for everybody to wake up to. So I know we're approaching the 2-hour mark, so we're probably going to go ahead and cut it here. Guys, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for the support. Again, it means a lot. I got the Facecam Pro upgrade. We're doing different upgrades to, the stream, trying to make it better. Miss Beans got her new webcam, so more things to come. So we appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. And see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.
Grab your coffee cup, come spend some time. I know it's early, start of a new day. No need to worry, it's Lolcow Cafe. Rise and shine, baby, wake and bake. Clear out your mind, baby, just take a break. Lolcow Cafe.